was this idea of, I love seeing an athlete who can look back on their career and they're like, man, look at that season I had. Look at this catalog of seasons I've had where I just kept on going. Like I was setting records or whatever it is, right? You've got a body of work you can look back at. And obviously in this current day, at, almost 24, I can look back and say, I still have this thing. I really want this thing. I'm like, I like the idea of having a body of work you can look back at. Apart from sports, music, I love when an artist puts together an album. I'm like, this is a perfect album. Like, this is an album you can look back and be like, I put in 2, 3 years, however many years or hours they put into that. They can look back and be like, this is timeless. This is here. Or a writer writes a set of books that are just incredible. They can look back and be like, this is my life's work. Like Jordan Peterson, for example, his book Maps of Meaning, which I still haven't read, and I would love to get to reading to that. That book apparently took him really, really long to write, and he wrote it in like his prime physical condition. Like I think in his 20s, 30s. I might be wrong on that, but he said it's the most difficult book he's ever written. But again, you can just imagine writing a book like that. It's like in there, you've got a man who has put in his best hours every single day for an extended period of time into that. I find that so admirable, and I think it's what we're called to as men. To reach our fullest potential. I mean, I've seen this TikTok from like last year, going around where it's like, it's a shame for a man to grow old and not see what he's capable of. And I resonate with that. And also from obviously a biblically Christian perspective, as men, we should be rung out for the kingdom, right? We want to get to the end, hear, well done, good and faithful servant. We want to look back. Again, I love the idea of like, we want to look back at life when it's all said and done in the same way that a footballer or, a tennis player or whatever, an athlete who's just finished a game, literally just drops to the ground and is like, man, I gave that all I had. I think for me, that's my goal. And I assume it's a goal. It's the goal for a lot of people that are watching this as well. I assume it's the goal for you. And obviously we get attracted to the self-improvement thing now because obviously it gives us this space where something becomes possible. It's not just, I'm sitting back and I'm watching other people live life, but I can't. I've got something I can do now. I can change. I can get better. I'm stuck in a life right now where, let me just paint the picture for you guys. For me, I'm in a job I like. Does not suit my strengths, does not suit my interests at all. I absolutely despise it, but it is my last year, and then I'll finish the qualifications. It's a 7-year journey to become a chartered accountant. So this is my last year, and I'm over most of it, right? It's just final stretch. But I'm in that space now, and that just grates at me because not only does it suck, waking up every single day just wishing, you didn't have to go to work. And at some point, it's just being like, dude, I don't want to be here. If this is all life has to offer, it frustrates me. Apart from that, where it's just difficult, but also I'm like, dude, I'm spending all of my days giving myself to something I don't like and I'm not good at and I have no interest in, when I could be doing something. I'm like, I want to be that man that's waking up. Again, I bring up the Jordan Peterson idea. Like, that's hard work. Writing a book, especially to the level of a book like Maps of Meaning, it's really hard work. But again, you can look back. I can't get away from that picture of an athlete that's just finished a game and they just drop to the floor. And like, I gave that everything I had. Life should be like that. I want life to be like that. It's very difficult when you're in a place where you don't feel like, things are kind of facing that way, right? And that's been the frustration for me. And I think when you're in a place like that and you're like, cool, I want to escape, I want to get out of here. Now, for me, obviously, this thing has a kind of an end period for this particular season. But also going forward, I don't want to be stuck in some corporate job where I just don't like it and I'm spending at least 40 hours a week on that. I want to be spending it doing something I'm like, man, I love this thing. I can't wait to get back to doing this thing. Pastor Matt Chandler said something that stuck with me. I listened to it last year when he said, men should be wrung out for the kingdom. You shouldn't be going to bed with energy, right? You should go to bed tired because you've given it your all that day, and wake up the next day ready to do it again. That's the kicker there. And that's available to us, right? That's available to you. And I mean, if you're kind of in a space where I'm at, where you're just like, man, this life I'm living, I really don't like it. That is available to you. And obviously that's where the rest of this video comes in, where we kind of figure out how we can get out of that, right? Because that's the hope. That's the first thing we need as men, as humans. We need hope. We need a hope. And I think it becomes difficult when you're stuck in a difficult situation. And it's not just obviously the situation. Cool, you understand. You've been consuming self-improvement content, presumably the way I've been for like the last however many years. But nothing has really changed. You've got the knowledge up here, but it's struggling to translate into real life. There's a lag between who you believe you are, who you believe you could be, and what your habits say. They tell a different story. And that's grating. That sucks. Right? That eats away at your soul. And I think the longer you let that go on, man, I can't help but despair at what the end of life is going to be. And we obviously have the advantage, again, very much assuming the person that's watching this, that you are young, right? I'm young, and we can still change it. But that time is running out. And that's why I spoke about that region beta paradox thing, right? It's very interesting from a perspective of, cool, things don't change until you get uncomfortable enough to actually change.